Morning. Please go and join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We can talk after.
Yep, nope.
Let's see if I can find it. There it is, right there. I entertain a motion for approval of the minutes from the previous meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from previous meeting.
Here a second?
I second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Okay, Eric.
All right. First off, got a couple culvert permits. First one will be Brad Wright's. You've already approved it. It has been completed. On this page, I need signatures. That includes $300 and some, put 10 foot of 24-inch round culvert pipe in. Next one will be for Troy Albright. Go ahead. Pass this around.
Okay.
Right there. And this one will be at, let me get to my page, 195th and Yale, back east of the intersection on the north side.
Nope,
And it is a 15-inch culvert, 24 foot long. Individual's bought a piece of property and does not have access into his property there. So I think that, yeah, this is our copy here, so. I don't know, do you need to approve the Albright one or not, or I don't know how that,
What's that?
do you need to approve the Albright, the Troy Albright culvert, or do we just sign them, or?
That the one he's putting in?
It's the new one.
The new one?
It's a new one that he's wanting us to install for him.
And so,
The Brad Wright one we've already completed. You approved, you made a
Right.
motion and approved it,
right,
but I didn't know whether you need to do the same thing on the Albright one as well.
I don't know. What do you
Okay.
think, Jim?
I would think so. We used to do that some in the past, but if we're aware and we sign off on it, it should be a good go for
Okay.
Yeah,
Eric.
you know, the only thing that I'm questioning was it's on our right of way.
Right,
You know, so we wanna make sure we're able to track what's on our right of way.
okay,
You know, and if we have a paper trail, it'd probably be better
Okay.
if we did have a paper trail.
okay.
Okay,
All right. Couple things with Ag Engineering. They were out at Elm Creek last week doing the drilling. Found a seam about 7 foot down. They'll be getting me a report on that where they actually hit water. Thank you. And we'll go from there.
Was that over
7
by,
foot, huh?
7 foot down is where they,
was that over by the spillway area or?
across, yes, over by the spillway. It's kind of straight across from where they launched the boats,
Yeah,
the boat
okay.
ramp there.
Well, that's kinda where we used to listen to it.
Yes,
Or
yep.
rush through or whatever you wanna call it.
Right. So we'll be getting a report on that. And then I did talk with Frank in regards to 250th and Deer. He said that he would get us a report or what have you on his recommendation or
Okay.
on the size of the box or
Okay.
what have you.
That's gonna be a tough call, because it's only one house. I mean,
Right.
That one house is important, but still.
I understand, yeah. Yeah, and there is access to go,
There he is.
so I know you got to go a mile east and a mile back north, but
Yeah. You go
anyhow.
north, you hit the blacktop, don't you, probably?
Yes,
Yeah.
yep, mile, yep.
Yeah.
When the weather wasn't completely crazy, we did fix a few potholes last week. The one on 240th, Commissioner Harris, you sent me a deal on, we did get those.
Thank
so
you. Thank you very much.
Those are done. And then 125th from 54 Highway to Mapleton, we were able to get
Good.
the majority of those filled in as well. Winter storm, only thing I can say there is wow. It's been a good one.
And you did a good job.
Thank you. Thank you. The guys did a great job.
Yeah.
Just so you know, we're down to 3 trucks. We've had, got a spreader box, 2 spreader boxes that are down. One of them we're waiting on a chain to come in. Another one went down this morning. The gearbox back there where the controls the conveyor is rusted off on the support. In the meantime, broke a couple bolts, and we're gonna try and fix it, so.
Are you? And you were way past due looking at a couple new ones too.
Yeah.
Way
Yeah.
past due. So.
Right. And that's kind of, we're kind of weighing our options here. How much money do you put in to fix
Yeah.
it, and at what point,
Yeah.
So if we feel we can get the bolts replaced and get it back up and going to try and get us through to see where we're at on our budgets, that's kind of my recommendation on that.
I'm thinking a new one's going to cost you about 25.
Is that what you were thinking, 25?
I'm thinking right in that area. So.
We guessed, and we were guessing 15, but I wondered if that wasn't a little bit on the low side.
Yeah, it's low because it's just been 10 years since I sold them, but they were 17 then.
Okay,
So I'm 25 to 30.
okay,
I hope I'm wrong.
okay.
So,
All right. Again, we put down a lot of chips to start with because of being so cold, and then we added a little bit of salt back on it to try and help melt it. But, once you get to that 20 degrees and below, your salt's iffy whether it'll work. So, for the most part, I think
I thought they looked real well. You're probably getting low on chips, aren't you?
we're getting a little bit low on chips. We're going to look at hauling some in, so.
Wonder why.
And the city ran a little bit low, so they came out and borrowed a little bit from us, and then they'll replenish us when they get their stock
Are you
back.
think about buying some at Nelson, or is that where you're going?
I don't know, Nelson, or whether we have it. We're going to look out at our queries and see what we have at the queries.
Okay.
See what we have available. That was our plan here this morning. We were going to look at doing that. So probably try and haul whatever we can in.
Sure.
And make that go. I do know that what we had froze in our boxes, and so anyhow, I do want to thank the guys. They've done an outstanding job. Even had to come in on Super Bowl Sunday and miss the game and what have you, but that's part of our job. And anyhow, on another note, speaking of that, Rock Crusher, I do have good news there. They came in Sunday, and yes, I did say Sunday. They came in on Sunday when it was freezing cold and snowing and carrying on, and they put the motor in, came back Monday, was able to fire it up. Now they're waiting on another contractor to come in with the CAT computer system to be able to get everything up and running. But when they do get it up and running, we probably won't be firing it up until we get a lot warmer temperatures than we are now. So as soon as the weather straightens out here a little bit and gets warm, we hope to be back to crushing rock.
Yeah.
Next week, right? Late next week, maybe.
Right.
Are you in the process of planning a blast at Beth Quarry, or?
Right. We've already met with Buckley.
Good. And
they've been there. They've flown it with the drone and laid it out, and we're actually scraping the dirt off today. We're working up there, and we're getting ready to move with that.
And we'll have to talk about this in our work session, but because of the crusher breakdown, we're really going to be behind on asphalt chips. So
You are correct there. Yeah. So
that's something we'll have to take into consideration, because you won't get caught up on chips.
Right.
Yeah, you can probably give us an estimate, you're planning on making more chips
right.
as soon as you get rolling.
Okay.
Be good, I know we go through that quite often.
Yeah.
Signs, and I'm not sure how, and Commissioner Harris, you might be able to help me a little bit on this one. If we've got an intersection that currently has a yield sign on, but it's extremely dangerous, and we want to take it to a stop sign, which really needs a stop sign, Can we change that from a yield to a stop, or does that have to be
That requires commission approval
commission approval? Okay,
on a stop sign anywhere.
Anywhere.
Anywhere on a stop sign.
okay,
As a public works director, you don't want that responsibility.
right, absolutely, okay,
But that's something we can make a motion under your recommendation, of course, but
right. I would strongly recommend that 175th and Tomahawk, that we,
175th or 195th?
195th, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
195th.
Okay.
195th and, I wrote that down wrong there, 195th and Tomahawk, that we change that from a yield to a stop. The northbound traffic on 195th comes over a hill, and it's a dangerous intersection.
It is.
And I think with the yield, people are rolling up, and and there's trees and what have you, and it really needs to be a stop and then proceed.
I agree.
So I don't know if you guys want to think about it, whether you want to make a motion on it
I'll
or.
make a motion right now. I'll make a motion to change the yield signs running east and west on on Tomahawk at 195th to stop signs.
Here a second.
I second that motion.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
In the,
I want to make sure we put that on the Bourbon County website,
okay,
probably Facebook, get it out there to where people know there's going to be a stop sign versus a yield sign.
right. Our bridge signs are in the blue book there. The first ones we were looking at, those are installed, and then the ones that, I think it said immediate attention, there was one in there, that one is now installed, so those are complete. And then 1712 Quail, I think you had someone mention something to you about marking a culvert or something like that. The white flags have been put up by us so we can call in and locate it. Definitely needs some markers on it.
Ron Wonderly.
There, yep, Ron Wonderly, yep. So we will be getting that done as soon as the locates, Kansas one call, are complete. One more thing, Federal Exchange, got an email from the state on the Federal Exchange dollars. Federal funds to be exchanged is $102,273.96. Exchange rate for 2021 is 90 cents. State funds per dollar federal funds, which would be available funds after exchange of $92,046.57. So I'm not sure whether,
I think it's pretty close to what it was last year because they've been going down every year
okay,
is what they've been doing. And we've been using that money for the blast, so, you know,
Okay.
it's a little over 2 blasts. And we do 4 years, so we're looking at
okay.
probably about $70,000 additional for the other 2 blasts.
Okay, and
Yeah.
on those other 2 blasts, where did that funding,
It's gonna have to come out of
Road and
probably
Bridge?
the general.
out of the general, okay,
Yeah.
yep,
And
You
that,
can look at it 2 ways. You can look at it strictly out of the general, or since you're using the chips for the hard surface road,
okay,
you may be able to do a little bit out of that one too. Depends on how your budgeting looks at the end of the year.
all right,
something I might suggest to you, Eric, and Lynn's right, that's not too far off, but it has went down every year for the last 4 or 5 years.
okay,
Something that I would suggest to you, your call, of course, when you get that check after you make that blast, always put in a special machinery fund. That way it wasn't lost in the regular road and bridge fund, and you could draw it out and move it for a blast if you wanted to. That way you know where it's at, you know where you have it there.
okay,
Kind of like piggy bank.
okay,
So just a suggestion, it's up to you.
okay. All right, and then one other thing I have here, Friday, went down to Girard, visited with Jeff Spangler with Apex. Went down with Todd Fox and Justin Meeks and Shane, myself. Had a very good conversation, talking the road use agreement and what have you. They're not ready to start at this time, but I'd say in the near future, they'll be getting with us on the road use agreement, so.
Getting close, aren't they?
I think they're getting closer. I would strongly recommend, if anyone has any questions on this, to contact Mr. Spangler. and his phone number is 620-213-4307, if they have any questions in regards to this.
Well, Jeff is basically the PR for the Apex for
Right.
this.
But, and just a quick follow-up, the meeting went really well. I think that Jeff was more than accommodating. We had 5 of us there, and so we had a lot of questions for him. He showed us the map. It's not the final map, but it's getting really close. He said within 2 to 3 weeks, he'd be contacting the road department. I think we've got it all lined up. We kind of know what the process is going to be, and, you know, the amount of roads that the county is going to have used by the wind farm was what we thought. It's not that much. I mean, unfortunately, the roads that we were hoping that they would maybe fix or help, you know, us with are not the ones that they're going to be using. So it's not a huge amount of roads that they're using within the county, but it's pretty clear what they're going to do. And we have a system set up that if there's any complaints or any issues with concerned citizens, they can go through the road and bridge department at the county, or they can go directly to Jayhawk Wind and
A lot
give
of traffic's
basically-
traffic's gonna be on the highways.
Yeah, they're going to use the high 39 and 3 are going to be used quite a bit. They're going to be turning off on, you know, using that as their main turn off, and then they're going to build roads in the middle of people's properties. They showed us the lines that, I mean, they're going to be moving those cranes and most of the heavy equipment through people's private property. But there's, you know, full disclosure. I mean, they met. I had to leave Shane and I had to leave a little early, but they were actually there for a couple hours, so a lot of questions got answered. So I'm glad he brought that up. Now I'll bring it up later on.
There you go. Thank you.
Can I get that phone number again?
It's 620-213-4307.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Anything for me?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay,
Nope, nothing for me.
all right. That's all I got. Thank you.
I do think Kendall's gonna move our work session because she needs this room,
Okay,
but we'll talk about that. She's on the agenda, so,
okay, all right. Let me know.
okay, thank you.
Yep.
Bobby Reed. Mr. Reed.
Mr. Bobby Reed.
Oh, okay.
Morning, Bobby.
Morning.
Morning, Bobby.
I am here on behalf of the Bourbon County Fair Board Association to talk to the commission this morning. Very long story, but the Chuck Wagon building where the kitchen is, that has been turned back over to the Fair Board. I know everybody probably thought it was ours to begin with.
Was
but-
4-H, wasn't it?
Yeah, 4-H council and all that had control over that building. Because in the way I understand it, and I could be wrong, when they went to the Southwind District and moved everything around, they no longer needed that building. So they turned that back over to the Fair Board. That building is in need of some repairs. And we, as the Fair Board, are going to do those repairs ourselves instead of contracting them out, just to save money. And as you know, a lot with the Fair Board, we do a lot of the things, mainly that's for the kids, for the fair and so forth. Our big project that we have to do before insurance will pick that building back up is do something with that roof. So I am coming, and I don't know if we can or not, but they chose me to come up and ask if the Bourbon County Commissioners could or would waive our C&D dump fees for the shingles to help save costs out. And I mean, like I said, we're gonna do the work. We just didn't know if we could get those fees waived for the C&D on the shingles.
Bobby, are you a not-for-profit? Are you 501c3? What's your designation? Do you know?
We are not a non-profit,
So you're for-profit?
yes.
So the other thing is that we I don't know how this works, but they are in our budgeting, they're in our budgeting process. The finance director and the attorney are having a discussion. So, you know, I'd like to, it'd be interesting,
There's
it'd be interesting to
roughly-
take a look at that.
I don't know the weight But the gentleman who's a contractor who's on the fair board, there's roughly 65 squares of shingles. I mean, there's a chunk. I mean, the building's not small
So-
by any means.
So let me ask you a question too.
Yes,
Does the Fair Board pay property tax?
I don't believe so.
Well, if they're not,
They're not for profit.
they're not-for-profit then, okay.
We are?
Very good, yeah.
Okay.
Commissioners, I would have, legally, there's some precedence that's really important here. If they're not for profit, there should be no issues with the dumping of the CED. If they're
Right.
for profit, there would be a precedent that would be probably not good.
Right,
Because any for-profit company would come out and ask us now, I mean, I know it's the Fair Board, but it sounds like they're not paying property taxes, they have a non-for-profit
correct.
designation somewhere in there. There shouldn't be an issue with that then.
I agree.
So before they dump their CED, if you guys approve it, we would need some proof that they are or not.
Right, so if you can just get us something that says you're nonprofit, then when are you gonna start your project, do you know?
Obviously not today.
Really?
Tomorrow, that'd be
Why not?
interesting.
They're putting the engine in.
I would probably say sometime in March,
Okay.
maybe April.
So-
It'll be before the fair,
So if you can get
once
us,
the weather
if
breaks.
you can get us that nonprofit designation, then we can make a motion to have that taken
Okay,
care
I'll,
of.
I'll see if I can get it and I'll come back up in front of you guys.
Okay, great,
Thank
thanks.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, Patty,
Morning.
here you are. So you need an executive session for personnel?
I didn't ask for it.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
I didn't either.
I didn't ask for it.
I didn't ask for it.
Right.
Yeah,
Do we need to go in executive session for that?
I don't think we need to, so we just need to amend the agenda to remove that.
Make a motion to remove the executive session part of the agenda, but keep Patty Love on the agenda.
okay.
Here, a second.
I second that.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Okay, and you guys were wanting to,
Well, you know, we was having a discussion last week, so, and I brought it up, so I'll start the conversation today. My intent last week was certainly not get involved in your department too much, just to share with you the calls I'm getting from the citizens of us not moving forward with selling commercial tags. And my intent today, and as well as my goal, is there anything the commission can do to help you go back to doing that sometime in the near future?
I have to have employees to be able to do it. I mean, that's my problem is I don't, again, today I have one experienced employee in there.
So,
And then I've got another one that started today, but when they first start, they're no help. I mean,
Right, yeah.
nothing
long
against
does
her, but,
it-
yeah,
How long does it take to do that, Patty, you think?
What, to
I mean,
train somebody?
I mean, I know it's not a week or anything, I'm just,
No, to train them to where they really, I mean, it takes a good year to get
Yeah.
somebody trained in there. I mean, and anytime you guys wanna come in and sit down and see what all these guys do, because everybody that comes in is something different. I mean, it's,
how many you have trained right now? One?
huh?
You have one person or two?
I have one and then one working at home, so she can't wait on
Okay,
customers.
so and hopefully she'll be back in the near future, maybe,
We're hoping, I mean,
within the
yeah.
next 6 weeks?
Huh?
Probably within the next 6 weeks.
We're hoping, yeah, yes,
Okay,
yes.
So you currently have 3 employees total, counting the new one?
Well, currently, we just hired the new one, so that makes 4.
Four,
But 2 of those have not been to Topeka for training, so really, and, so what they can even do on the system is very, very limited.
Yeah.
Because they have to go to Topeka, get that training before they're opened up to do
which
anything,
Topeka's not doing.
which they have not been doing. The last time they had one, I think, was, well, they actually canceled the one in November, so,
So
We're kinda
the lady you
stuck.
have working at home knows how to do it. When
yes.
she comes back, okay.
Yes, yeah,
And she might help
does,
train, maybe, okay.
Yes, definitely, but, she's got a lot of jobs to do too. I mean,
I
that's the
understand.
thing, it's like, when we lost the person that we lost. This was all her duties, special things that she did besides just the everyday wait on customers. So that has to be spread out between everybody too.
Are you currently looking for another employee, or do you have a?
I don't have permission to hire
Don't have
another
permission.
employee.
You're full
That's
up
what
then.
I
Okay.
asked for that.
She's up to 4.
Okay,
Yeah, that's what I asked for that because
The lag is the training.
okay.
at one
not the
time I
budget.
had 5 employees.
Okay.
And and 1 left. And so I had 4 experienced employees that were well-trained. So we all talked and we decided, hey, we think we can do this on our own. And it made more work for everybody, me included, but we were able to do that. It made it rough when we had vacations and stuff, because that puts you down and everything. And when I talked to the commission about doing that, we want to try this, we want to do this if we can, but I wanted to reserve the right to have that other employee if it didn't work out. Well, now it's not working out.
So, and the other part of that too is that the state is continually trying to reduce the funding for that operation. They've taken away we are now the owners of all the equipment that is used for the tags. So it kind of puts us in a bind too,
Yeah, well, I understand. Everyone's understaffed. What percentage of commercial tags do you have? Is it 20%, 30% that you do under normal
no.
basis? I'm just curious.
It looks like we've got 27 commercial customers.
It's quite a few.
Yeah, that's how many commercial customers. It looks like last year, the thing is, commercial is not a big moneymaker. $68,000 was the total we collected for commercial. Now, that was for everything. What we made from doing commercials was $1,785.
Right.
And there is a bill they're working on in the legislative to increase our pay on what we get, to where we would get $10 per customer, whatever we did for them.
Is it in committee, do you know?
I don't know
Don't know
where
if
it's
been
at.
introduced or not.
I don't know whether it's, they're supposed to have a hearing on it this week, I think, or next
So it
week.
is in committee.
We've got a meeting later on this week. They're doing our regular treasurers meeting by Zoom, so we'll know more. They'll talk about it then, and we'll know more about it then, where it's at, and the chances of it going and everything. But the treasurers put a lot of time and effort into figuring out what it costs for us to break even on this, to where the county's not supplementing the state's
Well,
fund.
it's definitely a service.
Yes, yes, but now they do pay 3 of my employees' salaries.
Right.
So, it's not like, that's all coming out of the county.
Right.
I think we have 3 charged to it right now.
Yep.
And then we have extra money every year. There's about $20,000 I turn back to the county budget left over from my motor vehicle budget. And that's been consistent the last few years.
Yep. Okay.
Is it, with your permission, is it safe for me to tell these people that's calling me that you're aware of the problem? Possibly, when staff comes back, you might train someone and go back into commercial business, maybe, if everything goes well?
Well, it depends on how things go, because it's a
Right.
very difficult system.
Okay.
And it's not like every county around us has it either. Lynn County doesn't do them, Miami. Allen just quit because of the same reason. It's hard to,
Yeah.
if you don't have somebody that does it all the time and trained in it, it's hard to do.
Okay.
Crawford County does it, and Anderson County. Yes, in the future, if we got to where, we possibly could, I would like to do it. We like to do service for people. That's what we're here for. But right now, there's just no way.
I understand.
So, of course, the other determining factor has been, and still is the COVID pandemic.
Right.
That makes everything 2 or
Very
3
difficult.
times harder to do.
Yes.
I mean, it really
Yeah.
does. It's, really put us,
Okay.
Well, I appreciate you discussing it with
Okay.
us.
Thank you.
Anytime you guys have questions, come ask me, because I'll be glad to discuss, why I done something or what, but that's what, we just don't have another option, because we're so understaffed and, you know, with trained people, it's not a good situation.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Wow.
Patty.
Kendall is next with the election results. Or election coming up.
Yeah, discuss the election.
That'd be impressive if you already had the results.
Election.
So I need to use your room if I can. It's been working out great for COVID purposes, to keep people separated on the week beginning February 22nd for a special election for the city of Fort Scott. If I can use your room, that would be great.
Take a look at it real quick, okay.
That also conflicts with your Wednesday afternoon meeting you guys scheduled last week. I wasn't even thinking of the timeline on that when you guys were talking, so I apologize on that.
Can we set that meeting up somewhere else in the courthouse? We could go out in the foyer again. The only thing is we won't be able to broadcast. Where's my IT guy?
Shane? Yes, there you come.
Is he in there? Yeah.
So if we let Kendall use his room again for the election because of the COVID, is there, we move it to the foyer? Any way we can broadcast it, or would it be back to something like Facebook?
For,
For just the evening meeting or the meeting itself?
no,
Could we
there's
do a
no way to
Facebook
move
link?
this. No, there's no way to move this. This was built into this room, it's built into the
Well, I know,
walls.
but I guess we could go to just a Facebook,
You could do a Facebook Live if you wanted to,
Facebook Live,
but you can't move this equipment.
right?
Well, we could just move our meeting.
Well, we can move our meeting.
Yeah.
That'd be fine too. How long you need this?
I'll use the room, if you allow me, I'll use it, beginning February 22nd, and March 2nd is a Tuesday, that's our election date, and then I'll be done with it after that point.
We could move it back, guys, to, an earlier date. Like on the 17th or the 18th.
Chairman, one of the ideas that was brought up in the back room here is that the city hall could be available for your commission meetings on a temporary basis. The city hall.
City Hall.
Could be used for your meetings on a temporary basis.
We could do that too.
No,
It's already set up.
I will not be at those meetings, so if you need me there for any reason.
You can you send a representative?
No, we're here. We're here.
Okay.
Yeah, they're doing the election.
Justin, you taking notes?
I've done it once before. I don't think they were very good, but I can do it, yeah.
Where's our finance director?
Actually, Susan just said
I
that
can
she.
do it.
Okay, there we go. That'll work. So let's see if you give me permission, I'll talk to the city, see if we can use their room the evening of, or the day, afternoon of the 24th for our meeting.
And the second, right? Ken?
And the second.
Only problem I see, it's the 24th, we're scheduled for evening meeting. People here are looking for us here, and we're at City Hall.
Well, we'll make an advertisement.
You can
Okay.
do it on mezzanine like we've done before.
Yeah,
We
but-
could.
We're trying to
But
figure
you're
out
not
a way
gonna be
do
able to
it
broadcast
to
it.
broadcast it.
Yeah, but I'd rather have the people out there than us not here. I mean, City Hall's a good
Well,
idea,
you're gonna get, people that are gonna complain either way.
but either way,
The coma situation would be resolved if it's open to the public and you're not
Right.
having any restrictions on COVID. So as long as it's open and everybody can attend, then you can not have to stream it. But the minute you restrict access and the amount of people, you have to stream it at that point.
yeah, but out in that area there, we hold a lot of people, the mezzanine area, but
But the
I don't
minute-
care.
The minute you restrict access, you need to upload it and have it live.
Right, and I know that's been kind of a sticking point that lately that they want these things broadcast.
and just move it to the 17th.
What's that?
Just move it up a week ahead of time like you mentioned.
No, that's fine. I don't
Yeah,
care.
I'm okay
Works
with
for me.
that, yeah.
So it'll be either, you got the 17th, 18th, or 19th.
I like the 17th, Clifton, what do you want to do?
17th.
17th?
Okay, so
Would be my vote.
we will not have a meeting on the 16th. We'll move that meeting to the 17th, and it'll be the afternoon, evening meeting. Beginning at 3. Do I hear a motion?
I make the motion is to move the 24th meeting to the 17th at 3 in this room.
Hear a second?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, let's discuss our meeting for the 23rd and the 2nd, the regular day meetings. Would you have any objection to moving them to City Hall?
I don't
So we can
care.
broadcast them?
Hey, it's up to you guys.
I don't care.
What do you think?
But we're here the 17th, we can have it right here. We won't be interfere. We can,
I know, we
Stream from
won't do
here.
the 15th, but I'm saying the 23rd and the 2nd is.
Oh, March the 2nd.
Room to be used for election.
I don't care.
Or you need to stream, Jim, you can still stream.
Yeah, we can stream it over there.
Is the city commission meeting the second Tuesday of the month or?
But it's.
We'll be out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll be done by then.
Day meetings
Yeah.
will be out of there before theirs.
Okay.
So, I'd make a motion that we move our commission meetings for February the 23rd and March the 2nd to City Hall, beginning at 9 a.m. for regularly scheduled meetings. And they will be broadcast. Here a second?
I second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. I'll talk to the new city manager, make sure that this is okay.
Yep.
Jeremy. Very good. Thanks, Kendall. Now I need to make another motion to allow Kendall to use our commission room for election starting February 22nd and ending March the 2nd.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries. So where's this cereal malt beverage?
So I have two ready, and this is, the facility that's South Fort Scott, the KC Mart.
Okay,
We have the permits ready, they paid for them. I'm still waiting on the township to give approval on this, which is, they have to do that since this is a closed business and they're trying to reopen it back up. The township meets, I think it's tonight or tomorrow night, so until I get their approval, these will not go out. But
Okay.
since you guys are here today, I would like for you to approve it today, and then if the township denies it, these will not go out for them to use.
very good.
Otherwise, we make them wait another week. if the township doesn't.
Okay,
Anyway, so there's an on-premise and off-premises for them, and you, Lynn, will sign here on both of those if approved.
okay, these are cereal malt beverage licenses from the county. And it is a permit that costs $50, and they have paid their $50 application. And it's for KC Mart Incorporated. And that's, the location is 946 Highway 69, Fort Scott, Kansas. It will expire February 8th of 2022. So and there's two of them, one for on-premise and one for off-premise sales. So I make a motion that we approve these two license permits for KC Mart Incorporated. Here a second?
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Okay. Here you go, Kendall. You bet. Okay, we also have, but we've discussed this and we need to finalize this. It's a corrected fence viewing from 1990 from Laura, and she has all the particulars.
Yeah, I typed that up, so it has gave it to Kendall, and it needs all three of your signatures, so I can index it in the wrong place, showing that there's a corrected fence viewing, and then I can put it in the correct place, and that way we can get that off that gentleman's title policy. It was just a typo, that's all it was. It was brought to our attention by the title company,
Right.
and the
so
gentleman wants it
you
off
Want to make
his.
a motion on that resolution?
I make a motion to approve Resolution 10-21, corrected fence viewing decision from April 16th, 1990. Can we read all this?
No, you don't, because Laura went over it last week.
Yeah, she
And
did.
it's strictly nothing but a correction on a typing error. It doesn't change anything on the actual ownership of any land.
No.
Nope.
Okay. So do I hear a second?
I second that motion.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
There you go, Jim.
If I can find my papers here, here we go. So I just received, make sure I'm in the right place here. An email from Greg Vanderberg on Raymond James, and we asked them to,
There we go. She's gonna talk about the
I still
chamber.
got one other thing I'm on the agenda for.
okay, go ahead.
Years ago, I worked with the commissioners. I'm not for sure, Lynn, if, we've done it every year since I started it. We did a fourth of a page,
Right.
being in the directory for the chamber. It goes out, new members of the chamber, guests to our city and everything. As a county, I think that we need to be in this directory. It kind of tells people where we're located, where our offices are, gives like the phone numbers, and the address of the new jail. It's that time of year again. Our cost is being members is $450 for this. The only change we have to make is that vehicle inspections are now Monday and Thursday at the jail, and that county attorney's office is now on the second floor, not over on Second Street. And if you approve that we go ahead and keep this in the directory, the fourth page ad will stay the same with those minor adjustments, and would come out of county general. But being the county, like I said, I think I've been doing this since 2017. I really think that being the county, we need our information in this directory.
So I'd entertain a motion to approve the advertisement in the publication for the chamber.
I'd like to make a motion to approve our membership in the chamber directory. It will help our citizens with the information they needed at a cost of $450.
So I hear a second.
Second.
Discussion. Laura has taken this on over the last few years, and I know personally from when she first tackled this that there was a lot of cleanup work that had to be done. She's done a great job of making sure that the corrections are made and the information is correct.
Yes.
So I really appreciate that.
Well, thank you.
I'd like to add that most people don't know how important it is what you do, and you do good. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
You know, I'll get you the.
Okay, back to me now. I was thinking money, nothing else.
Funny money.
So Greg Vanderberg, Raymond James, sent me an email, and this was in regards to our bond refinancing. We have some, let me get my email out here real quick so I don't misspeak. You got it? Great. I've got the packet. It's a regulatory requirement related to the underwriter replacement agent bond issues to provide certain disclosures at the earliest stages of any potential bond issue or order in order to comply with the regulatory requirements and acknowledgements that our role would be as either underwriter or placement agency. Furthermore, we are required to clarify our role to providing certain analysis and advice. As part of our required compliance as underwriter or placement agent, we are writing to confirm that Raymond James and Associates Incorporated has been engaged to serve as the underwriter or placement agent and not as a financial advisor or municipal advisor pursuant to Securities Exchange Commission municipal advisor rule in connection with issuance of the above referenced bonds, and provide certain underwriting disclosures as required by municipal securities rulemaking bond, MSRB Rule G17 as set forth in MSRB Notice 2012-25, May 7th, 2012, the G17 notice. Is our understanding that you have the authority to bind the issuer by contract with us, and you are not a party to any conflict of interest relating to this subject transition of our understanding is incorrect. Please notify the undersigned immediately. So this is kind of same deal, same procedure we went through with our bond refinance for the jail.
Yeah, and I think some of the questions that I got in the community, this is a refinance just like you would do with your house. I mean, we're just trying to find a cheaper interest rate. And when this was first done, I think we're going to see a substantial interest rate decrease, we hope. So I've reviewed this document, and legally it's fine. It's just it's a formality to refinance the interest rate.
So I'd entertain a motion to move forward with the Raymond James bond refinance for the sewer district.
I'd make a motion to move forward with Raymond James, looking at the refinancing of the sewer district bonds.
Here, a second.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Very good. Watching the financial news, it seems like the interest rates are stabilizing out again. They're still low. Need to take a real short break.
Yeah.
I would say smoke them if you got them, but we're long past those days. I don't want to lose this one. Back in the military days, that's what they used to say.
Yep.
Take a little break, I guess, what he said.
I think.
Yes.
How was the tour yesterday? They liked it? They were blown away by that, over there by the one piece that I wanted to have them go see. Yeah. Did you wreck his truck? Yeah.
Tires and wheels are worth more than my truck.
Yeah.
I'm talking this guy, maybe with that.
I've been dealing with that for years, Mr. Beth, for years. Jason's been making me look bad in the paper. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You make yourself look good. Second, Counselor?
Yes, I do. Well, you know.
Oh, that's your place?
It's the,
No, it's
Side of the
it's about
tides, isn't
20
it?
of them.
You run any cattle?
It was just like 5 cows.
Okay, well, still you gotta feed them.
Oh, yeah.
Breaking ice?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah. It,
Have you heard they're moving the games tonight?
crazy stuff.
Usually start off when we get it. You get a quarter or so good.
How you doing, cousin?
It's like they just hire one or just, you know.
It, cold up on the roof? Yeah. You get any pipe freezing anywhere? You know, if we make it through the next 5 days, I think that'll be all right. Could be booger. There you go.
I'm good.
Okay. Kindles this year, county property, work comp air insurance,
Yes.
okay.
So you asked that this be placed on the agenda in February to consider opening those up for bids for work comp and property insurance for 2022. To start the bid process now, if you're gonna take bids for those coverages. So that's what that is.
Okay, so I'll make a motion that we start the bid process for our, work comp and property insurance.
I second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. I got one more thing I need to talk to Justin about real quick. Letter I just received.
Yes.
So you made the motion a while ago on the stop sign where there now is a yield sign. But I'm not sure I got the direction right. It's 195th and Tomahawk, but which direction are they going for now to have a stop sign?
East and west.
East and west, there we go.
How are you, Fern? Oh, pretty good. The walkers, you guys get out whatever the weather is. Don't you?
Maybe next year.
As long as where you're going is warm.
This is something that we've already kind of started the process on property tax, or the property sale, tax sale. So,
Harris, am I up, or?
Need to make a motion to make sure that we cover our bases for Justin to continue, with our tax sales.
That's one of my 3 things.
Okay, very good.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Your turn. Your what?
Have you guys done the county property and workers' comp insurance?
Yep.
We're done, yes.
Sorry.
Okay, we're up to the county counselor.
Not a whole lot this morning, Commissioners. I just want to let you guys know that we had a fairly lengthy meeting yesterday with the new city manager, myself and the chairman, and 2 city commissioners. Had a really good conversation about what Fort Scott looks like, what Bourbon County looks like in the future. We talked about shared services, but it actually went broader than that. It was more of a universal conversation about what rural America is currently, with the pandemic, without the pandemic. We talked about housing. We talked about just a whole bunch of different things. It was a really intriguing meeting, and I think it's going to hopefully bear fruit down the road for the taxpayers of our county and our Bourbon County citizens to hopefully try to lower property taxes, try to get things to where the cost-benefit analysis works out a little bit better. There was a lot of data that we're going to be exploring, and I'm looking forward to going down that path to get the information that we need to help make good decisions. So it was a really, really good meeting.
All right, and you know, one of the things that really stood out was that everyone in the room understood that everything we do is data-driven. So we're looking, and we've shared a lot of the data that we have accumulated in the past. And Justin had one of the data points that he investigated last night was our housing situation in Bourbon County. It's amazing the amount of housing that we do not have in all the price ranges.
Well, now I'll give credit where credit's due. I mean, Bailey Lyons from Lyons Real Estate, it's not a pitch, and she's a family member, just FYI, so I don't, cause any issues there. But she calculated the number of houses that are basically part of the inventory, and it is definitely a seller's market right now. I mean, some of the price points, there's zero inventory, which is fascinating from, if I was a builder, that data would become very interesting really quickly because it shows that there's a need for additional inventory within the Bourbon County community itself. And I'm saying she got the data for the county and also the data for the city of Fort Scott, and it's pretty much paralleling itself. I mean, there's a little more inventory in the county, but not much. I mean, the time that a house is on the market is less than 2 months in almost every price point. And some price points within the city of Fort Scott, there is literally zero inventory. So I don't, I'm not a real estate person. I don't know the history or the trends, but I would say that's a very surprising trend. It caught myself and Commissioner O'Hare kind of off guard to know that there's that much. We know it also has an impact on the county. We know that Laura Holdridge's office, based off that information, and probably the title company here in the community are very busy. I mean, they have a lot of work happening right now, based off the information that we got from part of the meeting yesterday. So just
and that kind of goes along with our desire to increase our workforce, our businesses, our population. And one of the things that you have to have is housing.
Right.
So, I think there'll be a lot of emphasis put on that. But the other part of that is it has to be hand in hand. If you're going to bring people in, you're going to have housing, but you can't have housing, just speculate and do housing if you don't have the workforce coming in.
Well, and it was interesting because Commissioner Beth's, if you're not growing, you're dying, and that actually came up yesterday.
It did.
And multiple times, and it was good to hear that. I think people understand that if you're not moving forward, then stagnation is death. And I'm not saying that to be dramatic. I'm just saying without some process of moving forward, you're not growing. And then quality of life issues came up, which
Yes.
I found that conversation very fascinating too. So it's just a matter
what
of
what do we have in Bourbon County and Fort Scott and the surrounding area to keep people here? The quality of life.
Yep. So some of the things we've been talking about for 6-7 years, it was the theme of the conversation. So it was good. Tax sale, we are getting. We're starting to get the information. Started last week about the abstracts from the title company. They're dribbling in. I mean, it's just a matter of time on task. I've got those processed. I'm starting that. So what I'll probably do here in the near future is get an invoice to pay for basically legal staff. And that's what that budget was set for. I mean, we've got a lot of properties. The third thing, I've been asked by a community leader to possibly present at some future land bank meeting or like a Q&A. Obviously I can't give legal advice, but if that does come to fruition, I want your guys' permission to go ahead and do that. And then I'm hoping to invite the Pittsburgh land bank expert too to be there. Hopefully they can attend to give us insight on what the end game looks like and how they've used it to their city's advantage. So just letting you know that I hopefully can accept that invitation and with your permission and get that set up and then go forward with finding the proper experts to come in and have that discussion so people feel comfortable with that situation. So it was exciting to hear that came up yesterday too.
You want a motion
So
to move forward with the land bank conversation?
I would like that, please, just to give me permission.
Okay.
I'll make a motion for Counselor Meeks to move forward with the land bank
Q&A or
Q&A.
Do I hear a second?
I second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So on the tax sale, we have in the past really set aside $12,000 for that tax sale, it's part of the budget process, and we've really not made a motion, but we have really directed Justin to handle this tax sale this year. That goes hand in hand with this land bank the issue that we've been working through. So I feel we need to continue down that path.
You know, obviously, we could outsource it in the future easily. I think this last year, this is the year that we're selling, you know, during the torpedoes kind of thing. We're going to have a big sale this year. It's going to be the biggest one we've had in a long time, just because of what we've been trying to do with the land bank. So we're going to move forward and get some stuff done. And then next year, by all means, I mean, I'd have no issues with,
Very good.
you know, absolutely no issues.
Good.
All righty. So we're up to public comment. Anyone in the public care to comment? Commissioners?
I was asked to attend the Rotary meeting. That is tomorrow. I'm not sure that's correct. I'm pretty positive it's tomorrow to attend the Rotary meeting, and they had some questions for the county and
Sure.
different things. If just you guys make a motion to allow me to do that, I appreciate it.
Go ahead.
Or not.
And what meeting is it?
With the
Rotary.
Rotary.
Fort
Oh,
Scott Rotary.
Okay. I'll make a motion to allow Clifton, Commissioner Beth, to go to the Rotary meeting tomorrow.
Any second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Anyone else?
I have nothing.
It's been an interesting week. I will say, our meeting with the city went well. I think there's going to be a very strong commitment, hopefully, that we're going to work together, and it's going to be working together for the good of the city and the county.
Good.
And it's all about saving money, providing services, and growing our community. Communities is where, you know, I know that I've had some discussions around the economic development arm, and we're moving forward with that. Things are moving in the direction that we have been working with for the last few years. Hopefully that issue will be resolved, and that organization will be up and running in the near future.
Good.
Go ahead.
Yeah, just a quick comment about that. Obviously, the Bedco situation is, you know, with the current board, the city has a board member on that. We're not sure if they'll ever officially join that. I mean, that never really came up in that conversation yesterday, but we explained to them what Bedco was.
We
You know,
did.
it was more of a informational issue. There wasn't really any questions about, you know, what it looks like 5 years from now. It was just getting Jeremy up to speed on what it was. I mean, he kind of didn't know, so.
And, you know,
I
and
mean, he
know-
did, but he didn't really know the ins and outs.
I know on setting this up is we made sure that we went out and made our presentation to all cities and entities, and all the cities in Bourbon County are on that board, along with the chamber, and along with the commission, city and county, business and education. So I'm excited to see that move forward.
Good.
Other than that, all I can say from my point of view, it's cold. Everyone needs to stay safe.
Yeah.
I agree. It's bad.
Anything else? I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. Uh-oh. I can't hear.
Somebody signed bills and payroll this week.
I can.
Okay,
Go ahead and make a motion that
whoever's available.
whoever's available to sign bills and payroll with Kendall.
Second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries. Okay, now I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting, please.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.